think we need an in excess joke in there somewhere as well. Welcome to the To Be Determined show right here, Beyond Ringside Radio Network. I'm the Orc of Ominous, the Architect of Intellect, the Wicked Nemesis. Joining me tonight, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a fantastic night. A overall 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars type of evening. But we're going to get right to the chase. My co-host tonight for this event, the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Layne. Eddie, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing wonderfully well. I'm just wondering exactly what does get said before I pot up the microphones because I'm on a separate headset. Y'all doing all this crap behind my back.
NWA Women's World Champion, third longest reigning champion of all time, the one that only Renadel pile driver, Tasha Simone. Tasha, how you doing tonight?
Love, peace, and correction because, yes, I have been affected by the condition and I have been corrupted.
Tasha Simone for president.
I admit it.
down with the sickness. And from across the pond, England's own magistrate himself, Mad Dog, Matt Denton. Matt, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing fine. I'm in the middle of writing a list of 20 stupid decisions WCW made under the influence of lunch meats.
And what's number 20? Let's give us number 20.
Number 20 right now is Raven taking Kenyon to Versace.
I love those old vignettes. Those were great. That's when Kenyon did the front flip, the gainer. That was great. Just by the push. But ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are scheduled to be joined by one half of the NWA Tag Team Champions, one half of the New Japan, I believe is what it is.
I actually think that they lost the IWGP.
They did.
They did lose the IWGP.
I think they just lost it.
Well, that sucks. But anyways, one half of the former IWGP Tag Team Champions, Lance Hoyt, also the Southeast Sensations, one of the best and hottest tag teams in the Southeast. The Washington Bullets will be on later on in the evening. And also GCW's own Mad Dog Dan Sawyer. So I have the Mad Dog and the Mad Dog, which is always a weird talk because like Mad Dog and both of them say, huh? To talk about the Friday night's event in Tarrant, Alabama at the Tarrant High School. This is going to be one for the books. Coming off what happened this past Saturday, the chaos from this past Saturday, as Eddie was all too aware of. Yes, this is going to be, this is going to be one of those things. We want to say a big special and a thank you to Pantsless Radio's own Wiki for being on. Now, I want to apologize really quick. You don't hear too many apologies from me. Eddie did the entire slideshow for this because Ustream has been backing up on us. Are we actually on Ustream?
Yes, we are.
Working with us tonight?
Yes.
Okay, so Ustream is working with us tonight. Eddie took the time to make the slideshow for the YouTube. As always, I downloaded it and re-uploaded it and put a bunch of tags on it. Eddie had asked me to link the Beyond Ringside YouTube video to Wiggy, but I didn't see it till the next morning. And, of course, I linked the one that I already had that everybody had started retweeting that had been uploaded through YouTube. So I want to apologize to Eddie.
It's cool.
But Wiggy was a great interview. Now, we pulled kind of a rib. A lot of people were there were people that were still out of the loop. Somehow, some way, were still out of the loop. She
maybe
called
just
on
a wee
later
bit.
on. I think everybody kind of smartened her up to it. Wiggy come on and Tasha just asked her, I'm thinking about getting into wrestling. What kind of advice could you give a woman like me? And Wiggy, who obviously doesn't know, from Canada, very nice girl, hockey fan, as she would say, go Leafs, I would say, go Avalanche. But she proceeds to start giving advice to Tasha, and I'm dying, Eddie's dying, Tasha's dying. I'm like, and we never smarten her up. She goes off the air.
She's a great sport.
Oh, she was so cool about it. But she gave great advice. Her advice, of course, was the time-honored, sit down, shut up, and open your ears, which I like. But she was like, you go, girl, go. And I felt so bad because she was so proud that, somebody would ask her, was wanting to get in the business. So, but she was very, very good. Check out Pantsless Radio. Actually deals with wrestling and relationships. Her and a personal friend of mine and personal friend of this show's and Beyond Ringside Radio Network in general, old friend of Shoot Finish as well, Sugar Dunkerton.
Old friend of Tweet Talking as well. No
Tweet
shit,
Talking,
just
my
shoot.
God, yeah, no shit, just shoot. Tweet Talking, man. We had Sugar on. I think Sugar has been our most thought out guest. Am I correct on that, Matt? I know we've had him 3 or 4 times, just me and you.
Actually, I think we just had him once. I tried to get him a lot more times, but it was like he was driving. He was driving at the time, so you know how it's like.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I don't know how it's like because I'm not in the business. I don't travel. Fuck traveling.
Of course, I remember one time over on Big R where we actually were talking about him, and a good friend of ours, Mr. 205, or excuse me, 256.
Alabama ambassador.
You got it. Jacoby Boykins was nice enough to send up a tweet to Dunk, and next thing I know, about 2 minutes later, we get the phone call coming in. It's like, wow, Dunk's calling. Holy crap.
And I heard he had an amazing outing at Chikara. You know, we talked about this on Beyond Ringside. It's always good to see guys that go out there and bust their ass, guys that go out there and make something of themselves. They don't wait for something to be given to them. They go out and they take what they want and what they need to succeed, and Sugar's one of them. So make sure you check out Pantsless Radio. I believe it's pantslessradio.com, correct, Eddie?
I believe so.
I think it is. A great interview. It's up on Beyond Ringside Podomatic. It's also up on YouTube under my account and the Beyond Ringside account. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for everybody. Thank you to everybody that checks us out. For those that listen to the podcast, those that listen live. I know we have a lot of new listeners getting ready for the Lance Hoyt interview. But thank you to everybody that supports us also at our events. Eddie, and thank you for the hard work you put into it. I know you put a lot into the GCW wrap-up show, which is also up on my YouTube and your YouTube, sir.
Yep.
So we appreciate that. That is a lot of work because I can't do it. And Matt's got to show me how to do Photoshop because I finally get Photoshop and I'm lost.
It's easy.
Oh my gosh, I'm so scared.
Oh, no. Well, the whole conversation is Matt put my face on Hitler. An old picture of Hitler from picture of Hitler from God, like 1932, right after he had
Matt, trust
taken.
me, do not teach him how to use Photoshop. Don't do it.
So it
What's
was
in
very
it for me if I don't?
If I don't, that's great. Now you're trying to bribe. Don't show him. No, look, come on now. I just want to even the playing field. You know, I mean, everybody always has me in these weird positions.
I think one of the other Photoshops that I did was Wicked had a mask. I think it was something to do with the Yellow Lantern or some shit like that.
That's what it was. Sinestro.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And I photoshopped swastikas, turned the mask red, all this shit.
Gave you the Hitler mustache.
Yes, a little. He has a real Hitler mustache underneath the mask, but the mask needed a Hitler mustache as well, so, you know.
And believe it or not, I got a lot of heat for that. People are like, how could you do that? People thought I really had that mask. I was like, first of all, I would wear that mask. I don't like Nazis.
You probably own that mask.
But people don't understand. People don't understand. People are like, you must be a Nazi. I'm like, I'm a bad guy. Wicked Nemesis is a bad guy. Y'all don't understand that? I mean,
here's the thing as well. People are so misguided because one bunch of assholes decided to use it as their insignia when the symbol really means, I think it's like the Buddhist symbol for peace or something like that.
It is.
I don't know if it's the Buddhist symbol, but yes, it is the sign for peace. And all they did is they just changed, they just turned it just a little bit like, let's take this symbol, just turn it just a little bit, boom, there we go. Now it's evil. But we're not going to get into that. We're talking about Nazis. Once again, look at this. Look, this is the To Be Determined show.
Hey, Wick, there's a number of things, if you take them and just gently turn them, they become evil as well.
Talking about your penis again? That's Eddie's first penis joke of the evening.
No, it's not a penis joke.
Okay, vagina joke. His first vagina joke of the evening.
No, it's not a vagina joke.
Worker or bat? Oh, sorry.
Did you say worker or bat?
Worker or rat, yes.
Oh, rat. I thought she said bat.
No!
I'm the rat man.
She's a bat, damn it.
Oh, that's good.
I'm Batman. Okay.
I don't even know if Lance wants to come on now, Lance. This shit. These fucking goofballs. But anyways, this past Saturday night, GCW Triple Threat Tag Team, the Unlucky Charms, somehow, some way, we lost this, man, due to Xander Stone hitting Damon Christopher with the belt that they stole. Between O'Hagan hitting his Irish necktie, it was horrible. It was horrible. We also didn't get the chops in on O'Hagan for his birthday. Sunday was his birthday. Saturday was Jeremy Foster's birthday.
Yep.
So we had something planned. We were going to line Josh up and just chop the shit out of him. But unfortunately, the rib backfired because KCP forgot half the match, and
you went there.
And there it went. There it went out the window. I even looked at. I told you guys. I said this on Beyond Ringside for those that didn't get to listen. I pulled on Damon Christian. I said, "Get ready." I said, "Chop spot, chop spot, chop." And then all of a sudden, the finish happened. We're like, "Oh, okay, tag." But anyways, it was good stuff. This stuff that happened.
I just want to know if that guy went out of control, though. You know, that guy that we're not allowed to.
Oh no.
Oh, what you mean, Jake Cole?
Don't say his name. Oh yeah, he did. Oh my God, you'll love this too, Tasha. After the match, he wanted to go back out because Xander Stone and Kuntz were right there as we were leaving. So I told Damon, I said, grab Kuntz. We grabbed Kuntz. Kuntz tried to crawl away from us. We put the boots to Kuntz. We started beating the crap out of Kuntz. Yes, I know Kuntz. Kuntz, hell of a guy. Beat the crap out of him, held him down, beat down the other member of KCP, Xander Stone. Jake Cole was in the back the whole time telling O'Hagan, I want to go. He wanted to go out there and start cleaning house. I said, Jake, I'd have shot you. I would have shot you. I would have pulled out, was it Keith? Keith Smart, is that his name?
Keith Smith.
Keith Smith. I'd have pulled out Keith Smith's gun and shot you, Jake Cole. Jake Cole, and nothing is better than Jake Cole showing the Hooters girls how to do Hindu squats after that.
What?
Yeah, he did.
We're being joined right now by our first guest of the evening. The man really needs no introduction, so we'll just jump straight into it. The one, the only, Lance Hoyt. How you doing tonight, Mr. Hoyt?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Doing pretty good, sir. We appreciate you taking the time to come on tonight. Sorry we got on a little rant about Hooters girls and Hindu squats. I do apologize.
Well, I wish I'd actually been there for that conversation and find it interesting.
Well, look, you've been on the road enough, sir. You know how it is. After an event, you go, there's not many things open. Hooters happens to be one of them. The girls were over there doing their Hindu squats. It was 12 o'clock at night. We got them taken down the ring. And here they are, and they were doing them wrong. A guy we were with, out of control, Jake Cole, decided that he wanted to show them how to do Hindu squats.
You said his
name.
Next
1,000 Hindu squats later, oh my God.
Why were they doing Hindu squats?
One girl said she was tired, so the manager was like, well, come on, let's get our blood pumping. So since they were tired, they did Hindu squats.
There's a lot of other things I would have thought of to try to. Never mind.
And anyways, Mr. Hoyt, thank you so much. We appreciate it. How is life going, sir? I mean, you have just been on this whirlwind of chaos, not only in Japan but the United States. I mean, have you finally had a chance to catch your breath yet, sir?
Yeah, I mean, everything's been really busy, which is always better than not being busy. I've really enjoyed the last couple of years of my career. Working with New Japan Pro Wrestling and what they've allowed me to do, and then, most recently working with the NWA, and then, I'm also working with a company that's growing fairly well. It's called TCW, kind of based out of Arkansas, but they run Arkansas, Missouri, and they're looking at Oklahoma. They're going to do some stuff in Texas at some point. They're actually an independent company that's growing into something pretty cool.
How does it feel to be able to help out like a company just starting off, to be able to bring a name that you have built yourself, to bring credibility to a company? Would you prefer have that, or would you prefer go and be out there with all the other names, sir, out in a big company such as TNA or WWE or even Ring of Honor for that matter, sir?
Well, for me, it's always just been a point of trying to be the best wherever I am at, and if that means being with a company that's younger, that's growing, and in a sense helping them and taking whatever name that I have built. I wouldn't say that the name I've built in the business is the biggest or greatest name that's been built in the business, but I think I've done a real good job of reinventing myself several times, whether it was in TNA, WWE, and now in New Japan, and so on and so forth. And I like the idea that, if it's with a newer, younger company that's growing, it's something that I can help them do is to invent and reinvent themselves as much as I've done it for myself, and both of us can grow from that. And that's kind of how I see doing that. And, I've had some great experiences working with TNA, working with WWE, and now working with New Japan Pro Wrestling. So it's fun being a part of all of those, seeing all the fans at the different levels and in the different areas, and what they enjoy, and learning to work in those different environments, because it is very different environments. You work in Arkansas or Texas, it's one way, and the fans like pro wrestling in a certain pattern. You go out to New York on the East Coast, it's a very different mindset. And you go to Japan, it's an extremely different mindset. And if you go to Mexico, and it's lucha libre, which is a completely different element in the pro wrestling game all by itself. So it's a lot of fun trying to be the best in every type of market that exists, whether it's the smallest, best intentions independent company that's just trying to get its feet wet, to the biggest company in the world working in front of 80,000 people. It doesn't matter. It's just fun trying to be the best at every level.
Well, I think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. Let's start how this name that we've been talking.
Okay.
How did everything begin, sir? How and why did you become a professional wrestler, sir?
Well, my mom and dad got together one time back in 1970. No, okay, that's too far back. I'm sorry.
Oh God.
Kudos.
You're not the only one who can do that, Wicked.
What's that?
Wicked has a condition. I think you share it. It's
Oh,
okay.
God.
I'll explain later.
Oh Lord have mercy. But yes, sir. Go right ahead, sir.
As far as pro wrestling started, it was back in about 2000. I actually almost went to Shawn Michaels Wrestling Academy, but things didn't work out where I couldn't actually go to that. There was a guy who'd opened up a company in Austin, Texas called the Southwest Wrestling Federation, had a facility, had a ring, and started training. It wasn't the best training that could have existed, but the guy who started me, he taught me all the basics, and he taught them very well. And then I started traveling the road with a lot of the kids that actually went through Shawn's school and had a good base in the psychology of the business, and just started working shows as much as I could, mostly with a company in Dallas, Texas called PCW, Professional Championship Wrestling, which ran a weekly TV show for almost 10 years. And I think that helped out tremendously because I was a mainstay with that company, and like I said, they ran a weekly show. It wasn't a monthly show or a bi-monthly show or an every now and then show. It was a weekly show, and so it was a lot of fun. And got an opportunity to work in front of TV and to cut promos, backstage vignettes, and to cut live promos in front of the camera, in front of the crowd, and actually see that product produced and put on TV, and what was good and what was bad, what worked, what didn't work, and things like that. So I think that helped out tremendously, going into my next level, which was TNA.
What was your first match like? Was there apprehension? Were you nervous? Were you just I guess the word would be cockstrong, I guess, were you just like, I'm going to the ring, as some people have, as we've talked to several people, or were you, I've heard people throwing up. What was your first match like, sir?
I think I was nervous, absolutely, but it was a point of, I shouldn't have had my first match when I had my first match. I had my first match a month after I started training, but the guy who was running the program, I was a decent-sized guy, decent-looking guy, and he wanted me out there, and I was free, so that helped him out tremendously as well, I imagine, now knowing the business. So I was nervous, but I don't even think I realized how nervous I should have been, you know what I'm saying, because it was so quick and everything happened, and, as far as I knew, I just had been doing everything right, and there was nothing really wrong I could do, and I, like everybody at that point in their career, thinks they're going to be the biggest star in the world, and that, they know everything, even though you don't know nothing. So I wasn't nervous enough, but I was nervous. I was working with a guy in the Texas independent scene, really old school, and he took 20 minutes to get into the ring and work the crowd and got a lot of heat. So even when I did anything, it got a good reaction from the people just because they were so sick and tired of seeing him and him not working and not wrestling and not doing anything. That, my first match, actually looking back, was a fairly easy match considering. And, no major mess ups or anything. Nothing bad happened. I'm sure it was probably ugly as sin. But like I said, it was cool. I was glad, and I was happy to have done it. That's for sure.
Now, you've done a lot in this business. You've went under some gimmicks. Some people know you as Dallas, the bodyguard for Kid Cash. Some people know you as the TNA Rockstar. Some people know you as Shadow, the Texas Mainstay. What has been your favorite? Has it been Lance Hoyt? Was it the Vance Archer gimmick? What has been your favorite and most fun, not necessarily gimmick, but your sides or your angles? Or what has been your favorite so far?
Everything that I'm doing right now with New Japan Pro Wrestling, with the tag team with Davey Boy Smith Jr. is probably the funnest time in my career just because we're having a lot of freedom. But if you're talking about stuff in the past, I've had great time. You know, you talked about S.R.O, a character that I really hope to translate into that next level. You know, I had a lot of fun in Dallas with that. Like I said, because we had a weekly TV program and they put money behind what they produced, and we had our own converted movie theater, so it had its own lighting, and we had 4 giant video screens, and everybody had their own entrance video and entrance lighting, and all the you know, the atmosphere that goes into creating a character that you see on TV that makes them cool. And it's not just a guy walking out of a random curtain. You know, and I'm not taking anything away from the independents who work hard and put that on that kind of show. But what PCW provided back then when I was first getting into it was the big time. It was something that was really cool. So it helped create this character that was S.R.O. And, you know, like I said, I was a mainstay with that company and got to have my own group called the Dark Circle at one time. And we were kind of the dark gothic, you know, badasses of the South Texas or North Texas, excuse me. You know, so it was a lot of fun, you know, so that was one of my more fun times in the independent scene. And then we go into TNA, and I think the Hoya Mania days were a lot of fun for me just because it was something that the fans kind of created. It really wasn't anything I did. I just went out there, worked hard, tried to show a lot of energy, and the fans took on it. They made the T-shirts, they made the signs, they chanted the name, they kind of created Hoya Mania. Unfortunately, it was at a time when TNA wasn't even on TV, so it really didn't get a lot of play. And then as we got on TV, it was kind of let go to the side and whatever, so it kind of disappeared. The Rock and Rave was a lot of fun, the Jimmy Rave, just because we got to be goofballs. We had fun with it. The people kind of got into it after a while. And, you know, Chris and Jimmy, you know, the 3 of us doing our thing. Jimmy is probably one of the smoothest guys in the ring I've ever seen. You know, I got to be a big badass and throw people around, and Christy was just yelling and screaming and giving people with things. And so we had a lot of fun with it, you know. And then, you know, as far as WWE was concerned, regardless of what happened and how it went and how it finished off in my time there, you know, I got to lace up my boots and walk out at WrestleMania in front of 75,000 people. And there's not a lot of people that get to say they did that. And I did, and it was a lot of fun. And like I said, going into now, in Japan, what I'm doing with the Killer Elite Squad, Baby Boy Smith Jr., beyond the best time of my career.
Now, before you were able to step out on the big stage, the granddaddy of them all, if you will, not Starrcade, as we've talked about, but WrestleMania. We've had this talk about, you know, Starrcade being the real granddaddy of all. But anyways, you were you received that or were catapulted to that cult status with the Rock and Rave infection, if you will.
There you go.
If you will, sir, tell us your favorite moment of that time, because that was the time that you were kind of thrust up there. People saw you out there with the Guitar Hero, and it was just like,
right.
It's Jimmy Rave, you know, a technical, and then you have, it's Dallas. No, it's not Dallas. It's somebody else.
Before.
Yes,
Lance
sir.
Rock
What was your
Rock
favorite one about that, sir?
About the Rock and Rave?
Yes, sir. Your favorite moment of that time.
You know, there was 3 teams that, you know, TNA had a real strong tag division when I was around. We had LAX, you had the Motor City Machine Guns, you had us, Beer Money was starting to form. You know, you had the history with America's Most Wanted and things like that. And when we were going strong, we were working with the Motor City Machine Guns and LAX a lot, and we actually did a triple threat tag match at, I want to say it was Destination X. I don't remember the city, but it was when, you know, TNA started traveling at pay-per-views. And we were an opening match for the pay-per-view. And, you know, I don't know if anybody really expected much of it. You know, they knew we could all work. They all knew that we were going to work hard. But they didn't expect to get what they got out of the 3 teams that were in there. And we'd all worked with each other so much that we knew each other very well. And so it was one of those moments where I got to come out. You know, we did our Rock and Rave thing. We're the first team out. We did our whole spiel. And, you know, Jimmy thanked some town we weren't in, and Christy sang horribly bad but awesomely good at the same time. And, you know, and I came out and told the local radio DJ lady that, you know, Maury Povich had called, and I'm not the baby daddy, so that was fun for me. And then we go out there in the 3 teams, we rocked it. We had a great match, and to the point where when we got to the back, you know, pretty much everybody was like, wow, you guys did something we didn't expect to see. And that's how, you know, they were just very congratulatory. They were very, you know, appreciative. They were like, oh man, that's how you start a pay-per-view. That's how you put it on point. That's how you make people pay attention. So it was one of those moments that we really hoped that would help define and help create something for the future. Unfortunately, nothing was really captured from that, from our team's perspective anyway. but it was definitely one of the highest points in the Rock and Rage time.
Now, when you were a part of WWECW, sir, they made a big part of you having an unpinned streak. What was that like for them to put so much in? Because it was everywhere. I mean, they made it a point to say that I'll have an unpinned streak still intact. What was that like, sir? Because I mean, we all, you know, we understand this business is a work, but I mean, and some guys, you know, some guys kind of jealous of that. Well, why are they putting all their eggs in the basket behind you? How did you feel about that, sir?
Well, you know, I'd been in the business long enough to know that it was just something because they'd chosen to go that direction. It was definitely something they were going to push. It had been most of my matches, I think, to that point had been working with, and no offense to anybody, but just local talent. I think I had about four to six matches on TV that were just local talent until I started working with some of the named guys, you know, the Gold Dust and the Tommy Dreamers, and you know, and then I kind of went into my feud with Shelton Benjamin, who was the first person to pin me on their television program. So, you know, I mean, for me, it's just a point of, okay, how good was the last match? What can I do to make it better? You know, the fact that they're promoting that's great and all that, but it wasn't, you know, it wasn't like a Goldberg run where I'd had 200 matches with no pins and I was a world champion or something. Then I think you could ask that question and say, well, it was kind of cool, but for a month and a half, 2 months on ECW and just starting out, it wasn't, for me, it was cool, but it wasn't something I was paying attention to because I was just worried about producing the best product I could out of myself and the guys I was working with, so that I just kept getting used and kept getting pushed and hopefully went further than ultimately I did. And unfortunately, you know, with ECW folding, that hurt a lot of us that were all a part of that product.
What were your thoughts going into your WrestleMania Battle Royal? Were you as nervous there as you were going into your very first match, thinking this is only 1,000 people? This is, you know, pretty much what all of us got into the business for. No, you were just ready for it. You're like, yeah, let's go out. And, well, hello, world.
Well, yeah, it was one of those moments where it's like, you know, I mean, again, you know, it wasn't a situation where I was in a match that was, you know, if I'd had a singles match that was for a title or something like that, I think that would have been a situation that had been a lot more nerve-wracking because there had been a lot more attention paid to it and whatnot. And this was definitely just one of those, here's a bone, guys, for all the guys that are here who are unfortunately not really a part of the show. But for me, it was, you know, I didn't think of any of that. I didn't think of what this was or what this wasn't. I wasn't thinking about, you know, the 75,000 people that were still coming in the building. They weren't all in there at that moment, I don't think. But it was definitely one of those moments. You know, one of my better friends in the business, and I still talk to him today, was Tyler Rex. And he and I were walking out at the same time. I think he was behind me, if I remember correctly. And, you know, we walked out on that stage, and that long ramp from that huge stage down to the ring. And I remember I looked back at him and said, man, can you effing believe this, man? Look at this. It's amazing. Man, it's pretty cool. And, you know, we were out there, we were doing our thing, and I had some cool situations and spots with different people. And, you know, from Santino's Cobra busting my lip open to my friend Tyler Rex actually kicking me in the nether regions. And, you know, I think you could hear it at some point, you know, and different things like that, which those are the things that make me laugh. It was just fun, and I had a great time. It was just cool. Like I said, the fact that regardless of what I've done in the business, I got an opportunity to lace my boots up and walk out at WrestleMania. And there's a lot of guys in this business who haven't gotten to do that or have and would love to do it again, or you know, that are just trying to make their way up and would love even for that moment, you know, and the fact that I got to be out there and be a part of that. And, you know, if you got the DVD, I am on that because, you know, they show the pre-show Battle Royal and, you know, the history of WrestleMania. There's a shot of us walking down the ramp. I think I made that. So, hey, I got on a couple DVDs just walking down the ramp and gotten to be a part of a 26-man Battle Royal done in about 10 minutes. You know, so for me, it was nothing but an awesome, amazing experience, and I wasn't thinking of anything else but, man, this is cool.
How was the Gate Crashers? I mean, how did this come about? Did you come up with the name? Was it something they gave you guys? And why was it such short-lived? You guys, you know, were beating up on MVP and Christian, and then all of a sudden they had you guys turn on each other. What was that like, sir?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, the funny part about the Gate Crashers was just, it was never an official name. It was something that Stryker, I think, had said a few times, but it was never something that WWE even acknowledged as our legitimate name. You know, and everything did start out great. I don't know exactly what happened, you know, in the WWE. And sometimes you're the favorite of certain people, and then sometimes that changes and you stop being. And, you know, I don't really have a good answer to that. It came on strong, and then all of a sudden it was, we went from, like you said, doing things, and I think we kind of got lost in the shuffle, and from getting lost in the shuffle to we don't know what we're going to do, to well, let's split them up, and, they just didn't know what was going on, and we didn't know what was going on, and before we knew it, it was over, and boy, I knew I wasn't there anymore.
Now, May 2011, you make your New Japan Pro Wrestling, this debut, sir.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you make an impact. Just attacking.
Mm-hmm.
How does this feel? I mean, from Japan to the WWE, was the transition smooth? Were you accepted? Did the fans accept you? Did they instantly know who you were? Or did you have to go over there and completely start from scratch?
It was kind of a mixed situation in the sense that, I'd been to Japan several times before that. I'd worked some smaller events from that way back in 2007. I worked a tour in 2009, right before I got signed with WWE, with All Japan. And Kojima, the guy that I attacked, was actually a guy that was with All Japan at the time, so I actually already knew him and things like that. And the funny part about that was when I showed up in Philadelphia to make that debut, which was setting up my initial debut in Japan for New Japan, there were a lot of guys and people I'd talked to on the phone prior to that, we had the conversations, but we had no idea who we were really talking to. And then when I showed up, it was like, oh, I know you. Oh, okay, I know you. Most specifically, a guy named Tiger Tori. And Tiger Tori, he lives in New York and he lives in Japan. And, anytime he's in New York and WWE comes to New York, he comes through shows and he knows the guys. So I'd met him before, and it was definitely, and like I said, I'd talked to him on the phone prior to showing up in Philly. And then when we saw each other, I was like, I know you, man. And he's like, oh, yeah, I know you too. Okay, cool. And I think that helped in the transition was people kind of going, okay, we do know each other. And, the way I approached it was, this is a new opportunity. Yes, I've done a little bit in the business, but that doesn't matter for anything. I haven't done anything with New Japan Pro Wrestling at this point. So for me, it's a brand new debut. It's what do you guys want? And they wanted kind of a new age Stan Hansen with the cowboy hat and the vest and things like that. So I said, okay, and I kind of rockabilied it up and took my sleeveless biker jacket and studded up a cowboy hat and pinned it all up, a black cowboy hat, and so it was kind of Stan Hansen-ish, which Stan Hansen is, had such a huge name in the Japanese market, and kind of made my own rockabilly version of that. And, my willingness to kind of adapt and kind of step in the ring and kind of listen to them and what they do and how they do things, I think is what kind of ingratiated me into New Japan. And like the things have been nothing but amazing since I've been there.
Eddie, you're on, sir.
You make the reference to Japan and the let's go ahead and bring into play the IWGP tag team titles. There have been very few tag teams based out of the United States of America that have held the IWGP or any major recognized Japanese tag team championship and the NWA World Tag Team Championships simultaneously. I think that is less than 10. Now, putting the world in proper perspective, knowing the fact that for that while you were champions of the world here in the NWA as well as in Japan, did that thought go through your mind at any point? And if it did, how did it really feel?
It was definitely cool to kind of be recognized as a relationship that is definitely dying and being born, and it's a brand new thing between NWA and New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's definitely going to help both markets out. It's going to help New Japan get more, be seen more in the United States. It's going to help NWA grow from kind of unfortunately where NWA had gone into hopefully something bigger and better and brighter for professional wrestling as a whole and NWA. And for us, like at that time, we'd been IWGP tag champs for about 6 months or something like that at that point. And then the idea of working with the NWA and capturing the NWA tag titles, even though it was a short-lived time, unfortunately, as double champions, we were still double champions. Something like you said that, I'm not even sure what the history of that is, to hold both tag titles at the same time as one team. And, and working with Harry Smith, a.k.a. Davey Boy Smith Jr., whose heritage and his father has done so much. And his father's heritage in Japan is so big, and there's so many people that know his father and talk to him about his father. And he's such a cool kid, and we've gained a real rapport with each other and how we work. And he does his thing, I do my thing, and then we work extremely well together, and I think it's just something that's really dawned. So the honor, I think, of holding both titles at the same time, even though, unfortunately, and even though we did not actually lose the titles, the IWGP titles, last week in Japan, another team lost in a 4-team match, and unfortunately the stipulation was whoever won the title. So we're now only the NWA World Tag Team Champions, but we're still World Tag Team Champions. So to say the least, it was an honor. It was super cool. It was kind of cool to be able to hold both titles at the same time. But man, we're World Tag Team Champions in 2 major markets in 2 different parts of the world, and to be representing tag team wrestling, which I think has kind of lost a bit in the world of professional wrestling, and to say that we're one team that's kind of globally recognized now in 2 major markets was really cool for me, and I think Davey as well.
And that kind of leads me to my second question. You have had solid success in singles competition, but for the average passerby, it would look like you've had even more success as a tag team competitor. How do you respond to those people that say, or the people that say that tag team wrestling is a dying art?
You know, unfortunately, I think to some degree it has died a lot. You know, TNA, and they've still got some great tag teams. I don't get to see their product very often. I know a couple of my good friends in that Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels are bad influence, and they're doing their thing, and they're a great tag team in what I've seen with them. And obviously, you know what Beer Money was, but when I was in TNA, we had such a strong tag team division. It was so cool. It was a lot of fun, and you know, they could be the tag team division could have its own separate storylines. We didn't have to exist within a group or within another major storyline. We could simply be tag team wrestlers fighting other tag teams that weren't really affiliated with anything else, and I think that created such an awesome situation. Has that waiver died? That's up to you guys. Again, I haven't been with that company in several years, so I can't really say. And in Japan, tag team wrestling is a huge thing. You know, you're working more tag team matches and multi-person matches than you are singles matches. To work a singles match in Japan is actually a really big deal, because most of the time you're a part of a group, you're part of a team, and you're working team situations. So tag team wrestling is alive, well, and flourishing big time in Japan, and it's kind of cool with the idea, again, holding both titles, the NWA and IWGP at the same time, to say that, you know, tag team wrestling is cool, tag team wrestling is fun, people should really get into this. And I think that at any given situation, there's no better situation in pro wrestling than a tag team, especially at that pivotal moment close to the end of the match when things are just getting hot and heavy and you just want that babyface to come in and kick some butt and things like that. You know, there's no better situation than that in tag team wrestling. So, unfortunately, I think with it not being as prevalent as it used to be in the past, it has died a little bit. But I'm hoping with kind of our situation and what we've done, you know, and some of the other tag teams that exist in the business, that it's kind of coming back, that people are seeing the relevance of tag team wrestling. So I hope that even if it was kind of a dying art, that it's starting to come back.
Now, we've seen a lot of people make the transition from college football to professional wrestling, but not many quarterbacks. Do you think that being a quarterback, being somebody, you know, because a quarterback, you know, being the quarterback of a team, being able to transition, be able to call on the fly, you know, calling it in the ring, do you think that helped you and set you a few paces ahead of everyone else? Where some of the guys that make transition, you know, are defensive linemen, where it's like, go get the quarterback, eat him alive. And offensive linemen or running backs, do you think that gave you a few steps ahead to being able to call it on the fly and transition and to change things at the line of scrimmage?
I'll say for my own sake, absolutely. But in reality, I think this business is such a art form, and people don't understand it. The physical aspect is so real, even though we are part of entertainment and whatever, however you want to say that learning to do this and work in this business, it takes years. It doesn't matter, I think, from wherever you came from. Either you have it or you don't. You know, Kurt Angle's a great example of somebody who, he came from, you know, traditional wrestling, and he was an Olympic gold medalist in traditional wrestling, but that had nothing to do with being an entertainer. Had nothing to do with communication. It had simply the fact of instinct, react, and dominate. You know, that's all he did in Olympic style wrestling. And so that has nothing to do with what we do in this business, but he was able to translate extremely fast, extremely well, and had such an amazing career, and still has an amazing career. And they don't realize, people say, oh, you know of Stone Cold Steve Austin, and unless you're a hardcore fan and you followed him for years before that, how many gimmicks and how many names and how many things was he doing prior to that? Not to say that any of them were bad, but there's so many people that don't know there was anything before Stone Cold Steve Austin. And it took years to get to that. And it takes years to understand this business, and I think it takes years to truly get a grasp on how to do everything that we do in a effortless fashion, to the point where people don't know what's happening other than what they're seeing, and it's all just magical and awesome and painful and cool and exciting in every element that they see, without going, man, okay, I see where the unreal aspect is there. You know what I'm saying? So I think regardless of where a person comes from, they either have it or they don't. And even if they don't have it, I think it's something that can be learned if they truly put their heart into it. And then it takes years to get that.
And let it be noted for our statistician out there, Lance Hoyt is now the 17th person that's come on has used my favorite word, art form. I stress this all the time. as a manager, and as a manager of a women's wrestler and manager of a tag team, I've seen it all. You're on with Tasha Simone, former NWA Women's World Champion, as you know, and that art form of tag team wrestling, women's wrestling, and even managing has gone the wayside. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, well, WWE's not doing it. Who gives a shit? I mean, we don't care about that in this business, because you have to progressively speed it up. So, Eddie, Lance Hoyt said art form, so make sure you check that. What was the moment that you looked around and you said, I've made it. I'm a professional wrestler? Was it your first match? Was it a moment? Was it some advice you had been given, sir? Was it something a fan had given you?
I don't think that I've really had that moment, in the simple fact that I'm always wanting to get better, be better. There's so much more that I would love to have an opportunity to accomplish in this business. I don't know if I'll be given that opportunity or not, because this business is very much the entertainment side, and somebody has to choose to put you in the right situation. I'm hoping that person or those people choose to put me in those right situations in the future. But it's definitely a business that just, I don't know, man. You have to learn it. You have to understand it. Like you said, it's an art form. And to go any other direction, I think it's just kind of, I don't know, you're pushing different buttons.
Mad Dog Matt Denton, you're on with Lance Hoyt, sir.
Just a quick question about your time in ECW. Mm-hmm. How much control were you given over your character and what you used to do out in the ring by a creative back then?
Well, I definitely think it was one of those situations where I had some creative freedom, but there was also a lot of direction given to me. It was definitely a situation where I was kind of brought up very quickly, and I was kind of nowhere, and things went well in the beginning, and nobody really knew, myself or them, exactly what they wanted Dance to be. 5 minutes before I debuted, 5 minutes before the doors opened for the night that I debuted, I had hair down to my waist almost. I had a braided goatee that was probably about 4 to 6 inches long. I had a very different look, and then somebody decided, nope, that's not the look we want, and took the jacket off, cut the hair off, shaved my face off. They did a lot of things that completely changed me. So I was like, okay, wait a second. I had a mindset of where I wanted to be, and I think what was thought that I was going to be, and it was completely changed. And it's like, okay, what do I do from now? How do I create that character? And I was trying to figure out what they wanted, and I think at the same time they were trying to figure out what I wanted, and it may have slowed the process a little bit. So I did have some creative freedom along with them going, why don't you try to do this? Why don't you do this? Don't do that. Don't do this. And it was kind of okay, let me try to figure this out and see if I can make it work. And I think if ECW had not gone away in lieu of NXT, I think I would have been able to find exactly who they wanted Vance Archer to be, and both of us would have grown together. I think, with ECW and what it created with your CM Punks, your Evan Bournes, Kofi Kingston, Sheamus's, all these guys that went through the ECW products who are now the mainstays on WWE products. For CM Punk, obviously doing what he's doing. Sheamus, obviously what he's doing. Unfortunately, he's been hurting out for a long time, but when he was going, he was on a rocket ship. Kofi Kingston's always been close to that, main event, and he's always been a top tier talent. And all these guys started on ECW, but they had time on ECW to kind of grow into what they wanted them to be. And unfortunately for me, I think ECW was around for about almost 3 months at that, then it was gone.
That sucks, because I definitely enjoyed your work on ECW anyway. Just quick follow-up from that. Was ECW's creative team a lot different from TNA's creative team?
That's hard to say, man, because, TNA just was one team for one show, whereas ECW was its own separate team, but they still had to answer to the big dogs that were running, the SmackDowns and Raws, and then ultimately Vince McMahon, who had his finger on all the buttons in the whole company, and every product that was produced, ultimately they said, okay, this is what we're doing, and they'd have to go to the higher-ups and the Vince McMahons and say, is this okay? Again, they were their own separate team, and they came up with their own ideas, but then they had to have everything green-lighted by someone else on a higher position, whereas in TNA, if you were part of a storyline, that storyline was coming directly from whoever's involved in the main story writing process at the time.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Now, really quick before we let you go, sir, we have to ask one question.
Yeah,
best road story. What has been the one road story that you just have been like, oh my god, I got to tell this. If you want to change the names, that's quite all right. We have some people that have with some pseudonyms, but favorite road story, sir.
But forewarning, if it's a Kid Cash story, I'm going to know.
I didn't travel a lot with Cash, and back then we were just pretty much Nashville and Orlando. Unfortunately, and I apologize for this, I can't really think of anything that just sticks out as like, holy crap, that's an amazing story, and I have to tell everybody in the world. I'll tell my how I became Lance Hoyt's story from TNA.
There you go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That one always makes me laugh. Okay, so I've been with TNA for some time. My name had been Dallas for, since I debuted there. They had taken me off TV. Cash and I had still been a tag team, but all of a sudden, they just had Cash doing X Division stuff, and they had me off TV, so there was nothing really happening. I didn't know what was going on. Nobody was really saying anything, so I decided I was going to go to Orlando myself and get in front of some people and go, hey, what's going on? Either A, let's move forward, or B, let's cut ties. Something, but this stagnant crap is not working for me. Dusty Rhodes was the booker at the time. So I showed up. It was actually a moment when Abyss and the company were kind of at odds with the contract, and he was supposed to be in a match that day with Kid Cash, by the way. And I'd gone up to Dusty, and again, they were at odds. Abyss ended up leaving for the day. They decided they were going to put me into that situation with Cash because it just kind of naturally fit. I was there, Cash and I had been partners, so on and so forth. But I went to Dusty and I said, Dusty, what's going on? I know I'm working tonight, but what happens in the future? Do I keep going, or am I going home and then nothing happens? What's going on? So I listened, baby. Like, this is what's going to happen. We're going to bring you back. You're going to be Lance Hoyt, and it's going to be good. And I said, okay, I'm going to be my real name. That's cool. How's that going to happen? He's like, it's what's going to happen. It's going to happen suddenly. And Cass and he's just going to say your name, Lance Hoyt, and then that's how it's going to be. I said, all right, Dusty. I was like, do you mind if maybe I come out and I cut a promo and I get the microphone and I said, you know what? I'm not a gimmick. I'm Lance Hoyt. This is who I am. This is what I'm going to be. All that stuff before means nothing, blah, blah, blah. She was like, yeah, that would be good, but we're just going to do it suddenly. And I said, well, why don't we try it, though? And he goes, listen. He goes, if you were selling out 20,000 feet arenas, that would be great, but you're not. So we're just going to do it suddenly, baby, just suddenly. I said, all right, I'm going to be on TV this week? Yes. I'm going to be on TV next week? Yes. All right, I'll see you next week. It went from there, and I was like, all right, I guess I'm not selling out 20,000 feet arenas, but I'm going to be on TV next week. And that's my story. Not that great, but I laugh.
It is, especially, you have a great Dusty Rhodes impersonation, by the way.
That's my Dusty Rhodes. I actually have another Dusty Rhodes story, but I won't tell that.
What do you have upcoming, sir, and how can everyone get in touch with you?
Absolutely, man. I
actually, hold on a second.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I don't know.
No, Lance, go ahead.
Go ahead, sir.
Did Dusty call in? Is it this?
We got heat. But go ahead. How can everyone get in touch with you, sir? Sorry.
All right. I have my Facebook account, Lance Hoyt, which is under my name. They can also go under my Twitter account. Follow me on Twitter at @LanceHoyt/Archer. I post everything that I'm doing on there as far as upcoming events are concerned. The closest events that I have coming up will be, I have an event in Houston for NWA, NWA Houston. It's called Shut Up and Wrestle. It's in Houston and Cypress, Texas. Then the next day, I'm actually going to be in San Antonio, Texas for Branded Outlaw Wrestling. It's another NWA affiliate called Mayhem in San Antonio, Texas at the Woodlawn Gym. And then on June 1st, I will be in Meridian, Mississippi for PCW. You can check out PCWWrestling.com for any information on that. Me and the hardcore legend that is Tommy Dreamer will be throwing it down for that one. And then I've got a few more events hopefully coming up in the month of June, and I'll be heading back to New Japan Pro Wrestling at the end of June, June 22nd, for a big event called Dominion in Osaka, Japan, the 3 tag team match. The unfortunate IWGP Tag Team Champions in Shinzan and Kojima, Yano and Iizuka, who are actually the Noah's GHC champions, and then Davey Boy Smith Jr. and myself, KEF, is the NWA champions in the triple champion tag team match in Osaka, Japan.
Now we have 2 callers on the line. I don't know if I don't recognize the number. So 703 area code. Who do we have on the line?
John Williams from Washington.
Oh yes.
Oh, cool.
Oh yes, sir. 404.
Trey Williams from the Washington Bullets.
There we go, the Bullets. I was just making sure, Mr. Hoyt, this is our next guest, the Bullets, coming on. I do apologize. We have people come in Twitter, Facebook, and we have people calling all the time. So just wanted to make sure. Bullets, Thank you for calling in. Mr. Hoyt, thank you for calling in. Eddie, you actually have the addresses for those upcoming events. If you will, please throw those out there.
Sure, let's go for it. Friday, May 17th, that is going to be with NWA Houston, Shut Up and Wrestle. That's going to be at VFW Post 8905 at 21902 Northwest Freeway, Highway 290 in Cypress, Texas. Saturday night, the 18th, Branded Outlaw Wrestling. That is going to be at the Woodlawn Gym, 1103 Cincinnati Avenue in San Antonio, Texas. And coming up to June 1st, that is going to be in Meridian, Mississippi for Mississippi Meltdown in TCW at the Frank Cochran Center, 1725 Carousel Drive. Wick?
Thank you, Eddie. I appreciate that. Mr. Hoyt, before you go, any advice you want to give out to guys or women just breaking into the business, sir?
I would absolutely say look to be the best at all times. Be honest with yourself, because if you're not honest with yourself, you're only lying to yourself, you're only holding yourself back. Live, learn, understand, enjoy, move forward every day. Find something that changes you in a better path for this business. And if you have a true passion, there's always opportunity. You just have to go out and make it happen. If you expect somebody else to do it for you, it's never going to happen. Be positive, move forward. Leave all the BS behind. Don't listen to all the crap that's being said by anybody and everybody, because everybody's going to hate on you. And the more haters you have, the more success you're gaining. So keep those haters coming, because that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Everyone needs to hate on me, because that means I'm doing something right.
Mr. Hoyt, thank you so much for taking the time for this extended interview. We do appreciate it, sir.
Much. Thank you for
when we come
having me
back,
on, guys.
yes, sir, we do. Anytime, sir, door is always open. When we come back from this first break of the evening, we will have one of, if not the best tag team in the Southeast, the Washington Bullets. Don't change that URL right here, the To Be Determined Show, Beyond Ringside Radio Network. And it wasn't a Pepsi bottle, Matt Denton. It was a Coca-Cola bottle, a cherry vanilla Coca-Cola bottle. Welcome to the To Be Determined Show. The To Be Determined Show. Everyone beyond Ringside Radio Network. Thank you to Lance Hoyt for coming on. You guys heard him. We're going to just jump straight into it. That soulful, silky voices that you heard are of the none other than the Washington Bullets, John and Trey Williams, who, for my money, the best tag teams in the Southeast. John, we're going to jump straight into it. How did you guys get into the business, sir?
Basically, through Stephen Platinum. I saw the ring being set up, and we kind of went in there and we didn't know that it was his ring, and he kind of saw us playing in his ring, and then basically all the guys he was training with kind of beat the crap out of us, and then they started training us from there.
Oh, well, there you go. That's how you get in the business. Trey, what made you guys want to get in the business? Were you guys fans from the beginning? You used to beat the crap out of each other? I mean, what gives?
Well, yeah. So, very little. We always play wrestling. We always have wrestlers and figures in the ring and all these things. And then I kind of lost it, like, mid-high school. I played sports, and I got girls. Like, I wasn't into wrestling. I'm just joking. But then we stumbled across the ring one day, and Steve said, "Do y'all know how to wrestle?" And we lied and said, "Yeah, we do," but we knew we didn't. And he just said, "You want to learn?" So then it just became something that you don't get a lot of extra chances. So when you get that shit, like, you jump on. I mean, my bad. Sorry, curse.
No, you can. You can curse on him. No.
Oh,
we have a warning. Yeah, we have a warning. Mature audiences only. We have a warning, but as soon as we start the show, and I felt bad because Lance was on point with his. I was like, I wanted to just be like, no, fuck it, let it go. And I said shit, and he was like, oh. But John, you guys were synonymous with PCW, probably the best tag team to come out of PCW, hands down. What was it like under Steve Platinum, who a lot of people, including myself, have compared to a skinnier Asian version of Paul Heyman?
Yeah, he was. I don't know if I would compare him to Paul Heyman.
No, but the control he had over you guys, because you guys, you guys turned down a lot of bookings just to work for him for free.
Yeah, it was his leadership and his vision was something that I think a lot of us could see from the beginning. And we all agreed with him in his point of view. We weren't just blindly leading with him. But also, when he trained us, he kind of trained us specifically as a tag team, which was great. You know, like, he knew what he kind of saw in the both of us and knew how to take our chemistry and put it into, like, basically just being a great tag team as opposed to just training us as, okay, you're going to be a wrestler that just does this, or this. It's like, you guys are obviously good at working together, so we're going to train you as a tag team. And I think that was one of his better gifts. He knew how to train people to work to their benefits.
Trey, Sacred Ground #1, what was that like? You guys put all of this into it. It was pretty much everything that Steve Platinum had, every penny he had, was put into this big event. What were your thoughts leading up to this?
I just didn't want to start. Like, back then, like, wrestling was a huge issue. For real, like, having good matches, like, there was times in the tag team season where we won matches we were supposed to lose because somebody didn't kick out. And, like, Steve would jump up our ass and everybody would jump up our ass for weeks. I just wanted to have a good match and, you know, have my peoples there and everybody be happy. Mostly.
Yeah, that was a big thing about those early years. I was going to say, that was a big thing about those early years. Like Trey was saying, definitely was, you know, our biggest thing was pleasing Steve and having a good match. You know, like making sure that we put our end of the deal in. So, yeah.
Now, you talked about the tag team season. If you will, for those that aren't fans of PCW, explain that, because a lot of people were still, even the fans, were kind of confused on that, because you guys had a season of tag teams. John.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the tag team season was actually a really good idea, where it was a field of a bunch of tag teams, basically. You would take the wins and losses, and then you would judge that into who gets to the next round. And it was great for us, especially because we got to wrestle a lot of different tag teams and have a lot of different styles come our way. And we got to learn, actually, to be a better tag team just from wrestling such different teams like Thunder and Lightning and J Fury and Nemesis and, you know, all those different types of teams that we got to wrestle along the way.
Now, Trey, the build up to Sacred Ground, and even right after Sacred Ground, you guys were introduced to a tag team I was associated with, the Prophets of Doom. During that time, you guys had wrestled everybody in that organization. You guys were pretty fucking handedly, having good matches, even when it was obvious that things weren't going right. What was it like venturing out of PCW, going to do NWA Anarchy, and then having all of a sudden the guys from Anarchy come in, and even the Mid-Georgia Championship Wrestling bullshit you guys had to put up with? What was that like, Trey? I don't give a shit. I'll call what the fuck it was. It was bullshit. I don't give a fuck. PCW was invaded twice. Trey, I'm sorry.
Well, really, honestly, with Danny, we actually met him a long time ago when we were first wrestling in Sam Stone's studio. It was him and Andrew Pendleton as Dirty Money. That was like our third or fourth match. So I kind of knew Danny, but Strick I hadn't really wrestled before then. And I don't know, how do I say it? That motherfucker is stiff, god damn.
yes.
Every time. Like, that's my dog. Like, we went on a long trip together. We went to Beyond with him. It was like 18 hours in the car. Smelled Strict the whole way.
Oh, my God.
In the ring, and you feel Strict the whole way. But it's just like, those are guys that make wrestling what it is. No matter what, if it's bad or good or if it's whatever, like, having friends like Danny Ole and Strychnine behind you are good. Like, I won anyways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they were, I was going to say, they were, he talks about Andrew Pendleton and Danny Ole. They taught us a lot because they wrestled us in one of our first matches ever in 2009. And it was, we learned so much from those guys, just wrestling them, that it was insane. But yeah, Danny, he'll lay it in, man. He will lay it in.
But there is a difference between Strychnine and Danny. Danny hits in safe places. We all know this. Strychnine will punch you in the fucking face just because. That's the guys. I felt like that's what needed to be done. Yeah.
But to be fair, he will take a hit back in the face.
Oh yeah. Oh God.
So
yes.
I'm not.
Right.
Now, Trey, PCW was known for using a lot of black athletes, a lot of black wrestlers. What was it like? What did you guys have to do to kind of stand out between Nemesis, Jay Fury, two of my favorite guys in all the world, Jeter and Brian Blaze, Vandal? What was it like? What did you guys have to do to stand out? Because Steve didn't care. And we all know this. Racism is everywhere, especially in professional wrestling, the good old boy sport, like NASCAR. What was it like? What did you guys have to do to stand out? Did it push you guys even harder to be a tag team, knowing that that it was like that?
Nah. Honestly, I feel like we just kind of got a lane that we've become. We've learned moves that we do. There's things that we do. There's a match that we have. And we kind of just became that. I think we more dwell on what we can do to be better rather than what everybody else is doing. So I think people see that. And, people kind of, they like that. They come to us for that. People cheer for the Bullets because of that. And that's who we are.
And to be fair, I was going to say, and to be fair, we all do a sort of different style to a degree because if you look at Brian and Jeter, they're more brutal and they take people down and break them down. Where you have sort of Narcissism and the Vandal, who are, they have more of the sports entertainment. Like they have great characters, they have great personalities and stuff that you want to watch, and they also can back it up in the ring. And I think our thing is our brother dynamic and sort of our teamwork and the high flying moves that we do.
Now, John, I was gonna go to you directly on this. You guys, we've all been a part of matches. Everybody here, with the exception of Matt, is in the business of professional wrestling. What is it like to go out and have 5-star matches, 10-star matches with only 12, 13 people in the ring, or I'm sorry, at ringside, as there was at Avondale Estates?
Well, it was actually really great because we had such great fans there that were really into it. And also, that makes you such a great... This is one of the things I was actually kind of hinting on with the Jakar show that we did this past Saturday that they did at the PCW Aporio Arena, was that crowd was a great crowd. You know, they were there to see wrestling and to have fun. But, you know, we performed the way that we did because we were used to wrestling in front of, you know, however many people here and there, you know, in these small towns or maybe in towns where they don't get a lot of wrestling or whatever. So where when we go to this place where we see people who want to see wrestling, we can excel because we're used to working in front of sort of the bare bones stuff, and it makes you a stronger performer overall.
Now, Trey, you guys have been all over the Southeast as of recent. What has been your favorite moment?
Recently, the Jakar
How about
moment
as a
was
whole?
pretty big.
Besides the Jakara stuff, but as a whole, then, what has been your favorite moment so far in your career as a whole?
Just favorite when we won that award, because nobody else other than like people from Rampage won that year.
Oh, that award! You're talking about that award. We've actually had John on from Georgia Wrestling Now. For those that know, that award is the Georgia Wrestling History. Where we're voted, where I'm the preeminent third place manager. I don't think I'll ever get I'll never get past that until Jeff Bailey or Reverend Dan die. But what they're referring to is the year. What year was it? Was it 2011 that you guys won?
Yes.
2011
no,
they won
2012.
Was it 2012? Oh.
Yeah,
2012 they won the Georgia Wrestling Tag Team of the Year. And Rampage won everything in Georgia that year. Literally, I think they won 12
Except
awards.
for one, I think D. Byers was a referee. But everything else was Rampage.
Anarchy was like, what? We don't exist? And PCW, no, PCW actually won, Steve Platinum won an award, that year for something. It was it's like they gave him an award, like, we feel bad for him. Let's give Steve Platinum since he's had such success. John, you guys have such success. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, what were we going to say, sir?
Well, no, I don't think anybody wanted an award, because I remember just looking through the website and kind of going through the pages. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that was my mistake. It wasn't actually 2011. It was in the year of 2012 where it was announced. So it was 2011.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a pretty one-note year instead of us, which we were very surprised about. It was like, wow, that's pretty cool, you know.
Now, you guys had such a cult following. PCW as a whole had that ECW vibe with the fans, with the hardcore type, with the stiff shots, with guys that went out and wrestled. People were able to be themselves. You guys were given pretty much creative control. What was it like? Do you think that helped you in your career to have that backing from the fans to where no matter what they went, and still to this day, even with the new inception of PCW that they still have some of those people from that?
Yeah,
John.
I mean, definitely. Definitely. I mean, that helped a lot of... I mean, it's kind of insane to really think about, but those core fans really did help all of us out in that degree because, it was a small bunch, but they're really, really into it, and they really, really stuck behind it. And we all put in the work, and I remember me and Trey were actually watching some of the older PCW shows from, 2010 to now, and the quality of everything just goes up so much because of those hardcore fans, because they'll let you know when stuff is terrible,
but
they'll also let you know when you're improving and when stuff is great. And I think that was one of the great learning curves that we actually had with them doing this whole thing with PCW and with all those fans. Definitely. I think everybody, even the fans themselves, I think to a degree, they kind of came along with us and did something.
Now, Trey, do you think that your career was catapulted, or do you think it helped with the same following? Because you guys were right there. You guys were on top. It was Revelation Shane Marks, Colin Blackabon Pandora, and you guys. You guys were really the faces of PCW. I mean, even to this day, you guys are probably the most associated tag team to come out of there. Do you think that following helped you.
Yeah, because we would go to other places like Peach State or GCW or like Canton or, whatever little show we were doing at the time. And we would see people there. And even if, like, sometimes, I remember one time we were heel, and all these people were in the front were like, yeah. I was like, no, don't do that. But they used to see it as good guys, but...
Well, how hard was that, John? And we'll go to John first. How hard was that when you guys would work, because you guys had such a fallout? People didn't want to boo you guys. Where in that predominantly. Now, I've been on shows with you guys where we've started riots. Now,
no, it was also, that was like a great learning curve, to be honest with you, where it's like, how fast can we get this crowd to turn against us, kind of thing, to where it's like, I'm here and I'm doing my job, you know what I mean, out here, and you have these people who are cheering you, but you gotta get them to boo you, you got to get them to hate you, and to cheer this other person, and so that was such an awesome learning curve to have, but it wasn't really that hard of a challenge. It was just like another thing that just put another skill within our repertoire. So it was pretty awesome.
Now, Trey, it may be a little bit harder for you because the ladies loved you. It was like LL Trey, to be honest with you. How hard was it to have the women turn on you? Because no. John had his Trey. I've seen women throw their panties at Trey when Trey's like, "What are you?" Trey's waiting for a tag, catching panties. How hard was it for you to turn the women on like that? Turn them against you?
Well, honestly, with that, you know how women are. They always like what's wrong for them. So the bad guy like kind of wins either way. So heel or face, like I go home with the cake.
Talking about that cake. But what do you guys point to as the moment where you made it? Where you looked around like, we are in this wrestling business? John.
Oh, man. That's a really, really hard one. I would say the first time where I felt like, holy crap, I've done this is, there's a couple of them. The first one was probably Sacred Ground, Chapter 1, when we won the Tag Team Season Champions, and we held the trophy, and our parents were in the crowd and stuff like that. Like, that felt like a really, really amazing moment. Definitely. And also, when we did the Showtime All-Star Wrestling show at the fairgrounds in front of that gigantic crowd, where we wrestled
Tony Cuisine.
Yeah. And
Tony and Darren. Tony Cuisine and Darren.
Yeah, Tony, I didn't want to say, Tony Cuisine and Darren. And the way that crowd responded to our match and the way it was with that huge crowd, that felt like a huge moment. And this past Saturday, when we did the Port Adele show in front of the Chikara audience, and also when we wrestled Dice Show at Sacred Ground Chapter 3, those are 3 huge moments, or 4 huge moments for us. To me, like just seeing the crowd reaction at the end of the match and seeing everything, that felt huge. And that feels like you made it. When you can stand on the ropes, and hold your head high, definitely.
Trey, your moment where you looked around and said you made it.
Oh, shit, I ain't made it yet. I'm still working hard. I'm trying to get there. But I would like for my mom to be able to see me on TV one day. Like, at least she saw it and I was able to do it. And I don't know. All those moments were good, and all of those felt right. But it's got to be more for the Bullets. I think we can go further. I think we can do a little bit more. I want to travel much. So,
John, we got to ask you this: what has been your funniest road story so far?
Funniest road story. All right. I guess when we went to Sawmill and we were traveling with Wardell Walker, and I had to go to the bathroom really bad, and we stopped at this gas station, and I went to the bathroom, and then I went and bought a little pizza from Godfather's Pizza. I opened it up and I started eating it, and Wardell goes, God damn, John, you really had to go. Did you bring that shit in here with you? You shit your pants? And then I was like, no, man, it's just a pizza. And they look at the pizza, and the pizza stinks up the whole car. And the smell just stays in the car the entire time we try to get to the arena. So
oh, damn.
that's what I can say.
The pizza smell. Oh, Jesus Christ. Better than blueberry.
No, it
Dunkin'
wasn't even,
coffee.
it didn't smell like pizza. It smelled like it smelled like a pizza, but the pepperonis are made out of dead bodies or something. It was disgusting.
Does this all of a sudden it turned into The Walking Dead? Trey, Trey, your favorite or your funniest road story, sir?
Alabama.
Okay.
I don't know if you went to this show or not, but it was me, Dominic De La Vega, Brian and Jeter, and John. Jeter has to ride in the front, but Jeter's so big, his head is touching the ceiling, and his knees are pumped against the dashboard where, like, you know, your what do you call that? Anyway, it's on his knees are stuck in the dash. So we leave the show, everything's cool, we get there, we wrestle, we leave in the show, there's a police checkpoint. But it's not a regular checkpoint. In Alabama, I guess they can have a checkpoint across the street from their cousin's house. No stoplights, no nothing. So it's just us and these police, right? Jeter is so big, he has to open his door and put his legs out so Dominic can open his glove box and get the license and registration. Jeter opens his door, but Jeter's dumb ass, seeing how he is the biggest motherfucker in the world, has to carry his gun everywhere.
Yep.
So we're in Alabama, 4 black dudes and a Puerto Rican in a car on the side street, and Jeter got a gun. And all we hear is officers say, "Put your hands on the dash." I thought for sure the car was just shot up. But they didn't kill us. It was registered. And everything worked out, but I was like, golly. I thought that was the end of me. I'm texting girls and shit, like, yo, like, make sure, like, something happened. I'm all right. Like, I thought I was going to jail, at least dead or something. I didn't know.
Yeah, my favorite moment was the cop going, hey, can you open the door? And the cop sees the gun and goes, hey, buddy, can you please just put your hands on the dashboard real quick with the gun? And it just, man, this is my protection. You need protection when you're 6'10", 400 pounds.
Yeah, and Jeter is legit, what, 6'8", 375? And he's a kickboxer.
Yeah.
He's a kickboxer. I swear to God. Jeter, and he's the nicest guy in the world, but carries the biggest gun. He has a hand cannon. Him and Chris Knox. And I've asked Jeter this, and I've asked Chris Knox this. You two are two of the strongest motherfuckers I know. Why the fuck are you going to carry a gun? I'd rather somebody shoot me than one of them two, or Jeter kick me, or Chris Knox punch me. I'm just saying, shoot me. They may kill me.
Yeah.
But John, what do you have upcoming, sir? And how can everyone get in touch with you?
Yeah, this Friday we're going to be at the Sawmill defending our NWA Southeast Tag Team Champions. And on Saturday we'll be at Georgia Championship Wrestling in Americus, Georgia. And Sunday we'll be at the Arts BQ in Avondale Estates.
Also, remember, Progression Pro Wrestling, 31st is actually coming up. Really excited about that one. The first show was really cool. Packed out the show, great atmosphere, great crowd, nice setup. Something to watch for.
Yeah, we actually had De La Vega on and John Williams to speak about that. We tried to get in touch with Naja. Naja, of course, you know, it is live radio. Things weren't able to go through. But congratulations to you guys, because once again, just like PCW guys, did it on your own. Bunch of young guys going out there busting their ass. But Trey, before we let you go, sir, any advice for young men and women just getting into the business or wanting to get in?
I don't know if I'm the one for this, but if you want to get in or you are getting in, just learn how to do the regular stuff. No fucking move matters. Learn how to bump and sell and feed for someone, and then you work on your moves once you become a good wrestler.
Can you tell me how to learn that stuff?
I was hoping you could teach me a thing or two.
John, any advice to anybody getting into the business, sir?
I would say definitely just like what Trey said, all that stuff about perfecting your craft. Watch as much wrestling as you can to learn from it. Take away the bigger moments that you can, and also make sure that you're learning from the right people.
The Washington Bullets have a Washington Bullets fan page on Facebook. John and Trey Williams on Facebook, sir. I do believe. And also it's at
Bullets_Bullets. That'll be Twitter and Instagram. And then Washington Bullets 123 on YouTube. Man, get us some likes. Check us out.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, John and Trey Williams. We do appreciate it. The Washington Bullets, everybody. When we come back, we are joined by the man, the GCW heavyweight champion, Mad Dog Dan Sawyer. Right here, the To Be Determined Show, Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Get ready for an explosion on stage. Keith Urban, Light the Fuse Tour 2013. It's gonna be a long hot summer. We should be together with your feet up on the dashboard now. Keith Urban, August 22nd, Oak Mountain Amphitheater. I'm alive and I'm free. Keith Urban. Who wouldn't want to be me? With Little Big Town. On the pontoon, making waves and catching rays. August 22nd, Oak Mountain Amphitheater. I keep my heart and soul in a flow. Special guest, Dustin Lynch. Reserve seats are on sale now at Ticketmaster. I wanna kiss a girl, I wanna hold her tight. More at KeithUrban.net. Don't you know the days go by? Keith Urban, Light the Fuse Tour 2013, part of the Coca-Cola Star Series.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
Thank you to the Washington Bullets for coming on with us, John and Trey. As always, we will have them back, and a lot of people had questions for them and Lance Hoyt. We'll try to get Lance back on. We're trying to get Dreamer back on. A lot of people are like, I had questions for Dreamer. Well, we're sorry. You know, there's only so much we can do with so many questions and inundated with questions. It's hard to get to everybody. We do apologize, though. So, to Lance Hoyt and to the Washington Bullets, thank you.
Let me just say this about Tommy Dreamer. It's online now on YouTube somewhere. Look it up. If you have never seen Tommy Dreamer do Gangnam Style and do the Worm, you have got to look that up on YouTube. It is the funniest thing in the world.
Tasha, nobody gives a fuck about that stupid shit. Shut up about that. You and that stupid Gangnam Style. I'm gonna stab you with a fucking sport. I do apologize. I'm sorry. We just lost every GCW listener we had. Oh my God, this type of language. I do apologize. Ladies and gentlemen, the GCW heavyweight champion, Mad Dog Dan Sawyer. We have Mad Dog back then and Mad Dog Dan Sawyer on at one time.
Oh, it's the double dog.
Yes, sir. Oh, that sounds awesome.
I tell you what, whenever you say GCW champion Mad Dog, I get kind of excited, and then you say Dan Sawyer, and then my hopes just drop.
Damn.
Where the hell have you been?
I've been around.
Yeah, you've been around. You've been MIA.
I've been pretty much dead on my feet for the past week.
Okay.
Well, first of all,
back with us.
Oh yes, definitely. We do always appreciate when Mad Dog is able to come on, and Matt, we do appreciate you being able to be with us. Matt has a ton of stuff to do with the Rob Van Dam comic book and everything that's going on, and with his other podcasts, and with all his game reviews that he does. It's just stacked to the brim with work. So we appreciate it. He always sounds like he's dead to the world. People are like, is Matt sick? Matt sounds like it's like 5:30 in the morning where Matt is. Matt, what time is it?
It is just coming up to 4:35 a.m.
4:35 a.m.
Damn.
So, a little bit of a time zone difference. But Mad Dog Dan Sawyer, sir, you have wrestled in a lumberjack match. You have wrestled in a dog collar match. You wrestled Dropkick Styles, which damn near killed you. What about this May 10th show, this Friday at Tarrant High School? Yourself and Keith, I did it again. What's his last name?
Smith.
The
S.R.O, Keith Smith.
Keith Smith. You will be taking on Micah Taylor, I do believe, and the D.O.C, Luke Gallows.
That is correct.
How much more do you have left?
Oh, man. It all started back in March. Officer Keith Smith, he's a policeman in Tarrant. He's like student resource officer. They got to have the cops in the schools now at the high school. And something happened. It was after the match. We did a fundraiser there, and Micah starts jawing at this cop. The cop gets in the ring. Underground comes around, and he's like, I don't want to don't make me be a policeman. I'm just working security on this deal. Micah comes at him, man. And he pepper sprays or whatever, freeze plus P, whatever it's called. He hits Micah with this and then slams him. And I'm like, what the hell? I was like, were you ready for that? Which he's been training. It's always been a dream of his just to train. He wants to wrestle. But, I was pleased with the body slam on him, but I was like, you just opened a can of worms there. Mike's like, when we come back here next year, and then next thing I know, Superintendent of Education loved it so. It was a good fundraiser, and she's like, I want you guys back in May, and we're going to see if Officer Smith can wrestle. Well, he was all, ready and focused and ready to go against Xander Stone and Micah Taylor, and then phone call comes through. The commish breaks the news that Luke Gallows, the D.O.C, Aces and Eights, freaking Deacon Festus, the fake Kane, he's coming to town and he's tagging with Micah. He's taking time from his Jax commercials where he plays the prisoner in the lineup. And it's kind of weird because that company he currently works for is running 10 minutes down the road from this school, but the school has sold more tickets than that national company. So, yeah, they've sold 15 tickets, or we've sold 324, and that's not even the walk-up crowd. So,
Now hold on. Now why is Keith in the ring? Why did Keith get in the ring? This is uncalled for. I don't give a crap how long you've been training. How can a cop see? Once again, police brutality. This is the type of stuff that they do at the G20 convention. How dare he get in the ring, get in the squared circle in our sanctuary? How dare he? I don't go and take a crap in his cruiser. Why is he coming in our ring and putting his hands on Micah Taylor? And also, big man macing the kid first. Micah Taylor, a former Marine. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to say a former Marine.
You can get shot for that.
I always get in trouble for that.
Yes.
A non-active Marine.
Okay.
That sounds even worse. No, it's not like he's a fast. A Marine.
Mm-hmm.
Micah Taylor. He goes in and he pepper sprays, maces, whatever. This gentleman who fought for our country. And then to slam him?
Okay, wait a minute. Wick, I'm sorry. I have to cut in. You and I know, Mad Dog knows, that Micah Taylor is an instigator. He is an agitator. He will push buttons any chance that he can get. It doesn't matter what uniform you're wearing. It can be a brother or sister in the Marine Corps. It can be any other branch of the military. It can be anybody in pro wrestling or in other life by itself.
It could be the commissioner.
Yeah, no kidding. Because remember, he
choked Eddie out, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, but he got in the ring, Mad Dog. He got in the ring.
No. I was invited into the ring for what I thought was going to be a conversation, not a confrontation.
You got in the ring. Tasha, when they step between those ropes, what's the mindset?
Defend yourself.
that ass.
There you go. Mad Dog, for real. And now you're gonna tag team with this guy? You're gonna tag with this guy that put his hands
I don't
on
want to see him. I don't want to see him get demolished. You know, I mean, it's bad enough when it was Micah and a member of the Underground, but you know, we got Gallows, 6'10", and former WWE superstar, Straight Edge Society. I mean, he and I have locked horns a couple of times in Georgia, and you know, this is there's no way that, you know, none of the rest of the guys wanted this job. You know, they didn't want to tag up. They're like, no way. High Def said, hell no, we had enough with the Unlucky Charms. You know, Cody O'Connor's back's just now getting straightened out. You know, I don't know. I mean, maybe I got a death wish. I don't know. Micah said I didn't have the guts to do it, so I'm showing that I do have the balls to step in there. And, you know, to go back to the March show that caused it, it was all the members of the Underground. It was 5 at that time. And they were kicking the crap out of me. And he was just telling them to step out. And, you know, Mike said, come on in, big boy. And, hell, he did it again Saturday night in Palmerdale.
Yeah.
But the difference is Officer Smith had, you know, the 6 guys that are going to be in the match with me on May 25th at Global Warfare. Had O'Hagan, Jake Cole, Jeremy Foster, Showtime Shane Fox. Cody O'Connor was not there, and myself. And, you know, it was a big stare-off. But, you know, May 10th, Tarrant High School, 91 Bear Creek Road in Tarrant, Alabama. The reason I give the address is because they have a brand new high school. And there's a lot of hype about it. We've got a lot of news radio people in Birmingham, Alabama that are interested. We're doing a sports talk radio show tomorrow night, and then we're doing 106.9 The Eagle, the classic rock station, and 95.7 Jams, the
urban,
you know, the urban station. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, it is. It's urban. It is classified as urban contemporary hits radio, UCHR.
That's right. We started at the bottom, now we're here. That's right. You know, we're getting to it. But you know, we'll just see what happens. And of course, we're probably going to walk in 95.7 Jams, and if he's in his uniform, we're probably automatically going to be heels. Wouldn't that? They're going to be like, oh, hell, that pig put me in jail one time. You know, I thought that was pretty ballsy of Micah to go, here, piggy. You know, you got a pig and a dog, he said. You know, it's just a match made in heaven. So,
now with all this going on, what are you going to have left leading into Global Warfare? Anything?
Oh, I don't know. I'm hoping, you know. I mean, been training harder every day. I went to cardio 3 times a week and weights twice a week, and doing jiu-jitsu twice a week. So, you know, just been, other than the cigarettes and the Red Bull, I've been training hard with O'Hagan, and everyone knows how lean he is. So, you know, instead of trying to just be bulky and strong, just trying to get some fast techniques down, because you know, he's kind of like a spider monkey trying to get a hold of him. So if I can work with him, I mean, he is a fast-moving individual. You've seen him dance, you've seen him wrestle, you've seen him fight, and you know, I got to say that I had a great time crossing paths with the Unlucky Charms the other night during dinner. That's all. We're going to leave it at that. And I enjoyed, you know, we've been across the ring from each other once, and it was a pleasure sitting there with Mr. Knox. And we, you know, when you guys are talking about Jeter and his gun, and you know, Knox and me are 2 guys that if we got our pants on, we got a pistol on us somewhere, if not 2 or 3. I remember Chris Jacobs, the cop from down at Warner Robins. He was just like, how many damn guns you got on you? It's like that scene in The Matrix. You know, I was like, well, you never know. You got one in every place and 2 or 3 knives. You know, I was like, I'm a redneck dude. I mean, you're always ready. You know, you never know what's going to happen. More on the road than, you know, at a show. I mean, the shows, I mean, I've had some throwdowns outside the ring, but, we're concentrated on the ones in the squared circle this Friday night, May 10th at Tarrant High School. But don't forget, on Lucky Charms, being challenged once again. This is probably the last time these boys are going to have a shot, a high definition, trying to take on you guys for your GCW tag team titles. And Showtime Shane Fox, I think he's against new sensation Steve Styles on this card. So all the goals on the line, and Tracy's putting the belt against Octavia. And we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Actually,
finally gets that shot after wrestling Pandora.
Actually, Mad Dog, if my notes are correct, Showtime Shane Fox is going to be wrestling Xander Stone. The new sensation Steven Styles is going to be taking on Out of Control, the guy we can't say his name.
Oh, yeah. Whoa. Oh, man. Oh, my God.
Can I please say the name? Can I say it?
No.
Jake Cole.
Out of Control.
Oh, my God.
Control.
Burning.
Oh, shit, I'm saying it. I'll say it every time.
Somebody hit the Warrior music.
I'm hoping.
Look,
actually,
let me say this.
The guy that I wanted Jake Cole to attack isn't here tonight, so, there was no point in me saying his name.
Hold on. No, in all honesty, I rib a lot of people. I get so fired up when Jake Cole. There's not many people I pop for, and I will tell you this: Jake Cole. That. I can't even like. Oh, okay. So, he is so fun to be around in the ring. Very seldom do you have a guy with that strength that's that strong. He's legitimately one of those guys like Ron Bishop. I'm going to say it. Yes, I'm going to say the name.
Yes.
He's like a country strong. Somebody that ate well. Somebody that his mom and dad took care of him. Somebody that went out and just busted their ass to get as strong as they were. You have guys like Crew Jones. Sorry, I hear it. But Jake Cole goes out and he listens. That's the point. He listens. You go out and you're like, he just throws one of the best clotheslines I've seen. We actually told him, I was like, it's not even clothesline, it's a lariat.
Whose music did you say? I mean, who did you say he reminded you of?
The Warrior. Play it. Exactly. And I hope that everybody gets a chance. Tasha, I hope that when, comes around, I hope you get a chance to actually see this kid in action. But Jeremy Foster and Cody O'Connor, man, we had an amazing match with them at the Oak Mountain State Fair. They have been at our heels, as have Full Throttle, as have O'Hagan and Jake, and recently KCP.
Yeah.
KCP after what happened. But you know what? As we all know, these guys are fighting. They fought each other in the triple threat tag, which confused
and the belts weren't even on the line. That was the thing, They start throwing punches just because they're damn Irishmen.
And I told them, they looked at me and I said, what are you going to do? I expected a finger poke of doom. I expected, one to lay down. No. They just punch each other in the face. Haymakers, just wham, wham, wham. It's one of those things where you're just like, and you know what? And everybody accepted it. Everybody's like, you know what? I understand. Because
Stay out of the way.
Exactly. And KCP, I like Kuntz. Grab Kuntz! as Fat like to be saying. And that's what I said. Hey, Kuntz. Kuntz tried to get out of the way. But you know what? No, I'm sorry.
Next time you see Kuntz, ask him about the Barbarian.
About the Barbarian? I want to ask him about that power bomb that you gave him in the triple threat tag. I thought he shit his pants. You slammed him so hard that I told him, I was like, I think you sharted. Because there's very rare to see a power bomb like that. Mad Dog, I mean, let's be honest, Mad Dog, has had some major surgery recently, busted his ass to get back to where he could get in the ring and actually not only wrestle all these matches, and in a lot, I mean, it's to have these matches leading up to Global Warfare. I think you've taken too much of a beating. That's just me.
My whole career I've taken a beating, so it's just, I'm actually able to take it, and it don't lay me up for days now. Not as many Percocets. So, I said it. you know. But
the D.O.C, man, don't you think the D.O.C may? What if he just like starts having flashbacks of hanging out with Paul Lee, you know, and somebody trying to fuck him in the ass or something? What if he starts just pounding on you and starts just punching you in the face as hard as he can? I
want you to peek out the door during the match, and I'm gonna start going, whoo.
Oh, don't you even. Oh, he told people that Paul Lee beat me up, by the way.
No, he didn't. Because I told him that, I just had to, he's still laughing about it. He goes, God dang it, Paul's just always getting heat on me. You know, you lit the kid's ass on fire. Gallows likes you. He just said he had to ride home with that son of a bitch, you know?
Uh-oh.
When he's at Paul shows, he tells everybody that Paul got the best of Wicked.
Wouldn't you? I mean, the guy pays him more money than TNA does to go out and do next to nothing. Look, let me say something. I talk more people in the seats than they can paint on those fucking walls.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. They paint their audience on the walls.
Yeah, and they're not even pretty people. You know, you would think you would take some good-looking folks and put them out there, but it's
I'm sorry.
It's little children.
Whew, I'm sorry. Tasha, but how do you feel? I mean, you've been a defending champion, and you know it's one thing to take on all comers, to take on all challengers, but did you ever feel a need to pull it back just a little bit, leaving it like a big event?
Nah, wide ass open. That's all the way I know, and it's.
Let Tasha talk. I'm asking Tasha. We know you're an idiot. You'll go and you don't give. I've seen you run through walls. I've seen you run through walls. Okay, so Tasha, what would you do if you were a Mad Dog shoes? Let's just say it like that.
Balls to the
into
wall.
global warfare, because this is the balance of power against the underground soldiers and the GCW soldiers. Would you? Oh, you would go balls to the walls as well?
Yeah, she's wrestled with a fucking broke leg.
Balls to the wall. Go hard or go home.
Matt, bring some semblance to this. Let's just say
I refuse to.
Oh, you're just gonna let this get out of hand too?
Yeah.
I hate you, Eddie. You're the commissioner.
Yes.
Shut up, Eddie. You're the commissioner.
Yes.
How can you let this happen? What if Mad Dog gets hurt by Luke Gallows, by the D.O.C? I'm sorry, by the D.O.C. What are you gonna do?
Understand
be on your hands.
Wait. Understand the concept of the situation here. Every time you step into the ring, every time you break through that curtain, you know that there is a possibility for injury or bodily harm. Everyone who works under the banner of Global Championship Wrestling, whether they be Team GCW, whether they be the Underground, whether they be freelance, knows they have the opportunity to A, win, B, be beaten, or C, they can even get hurt. Not necessarily in a multiple choice or an itemized circumstance, but any of those things can happen. There is no such thing as a safe zone in professional wrestling. There's no such thing as timeouts in professional wrestling either. So, Mad Dog Dan Sawyer knows the situation. Micah Taylor knows the situation. What's to say that Keith Smith doesn't absolutely snap and go nuts on Micah and give him a concussion? What's to say that the D.O.C. doesn't have one of the Festus flashbacks and just goes nuts himself? Or Kane or freaking Deacon and turn around and try to save everybody the hard way by baptizing them through the center of the ring.
Why are you talking to me like I'm a retard?
I'm not.
I know this.
Well, you asked me a question. I'm trying to answer your question.
What I'm saying is, can you not tell Mad Dog you cannot compete? Mad Dog, you're going to get hurt.
Wicked Nemesis.
These guys are going to beat the crap out of you in Tarrant because you have not even a wrestler as your tag team partner. And then Global Warfare, you might as well just go ahead and hand the company over to the Underground Soldiers. Shit. And then Spiral, you think Spiral already sells 40, 50 t-shirts a night? No. You might as well go ahead and call it Spiral Civic Center in Pell City. He's taking over and make it into Bosnia number 2. Mad Dog. For real. Any second thoughts on this? Eddie, when do you think this is going to happen? What are you going to do?
I am actually going to let what happens happen. All 4 gentlemen know what the options are. All 4 gentlemen know what the odds are. Plain and simple. And let's run this down real quick. This coming Friday night, May the 10th. Excuse me. Sorry. May 10th. Tarrant High School. Oh, hold on. He's coming back in. We lost him for a second.
That's okay. Do the rundown, sir.
The stars of GCW, the stars of the Underground, will be at Tarrant High School, 91 Bear Creek Road. You've already heard the GCW Ladies Champion, Tracy Taylor, in action against Octavia. The tag team titles? What's going to happen when the Unlucky Charms face off against High Definition this Friday night? Wicked, I know you've got a solid game plan in place, but you know that High Definition has been gunning for those belts all over again. Mudbone, the Mystic from San Monique, takes on the high-flying Scotty Blaze. The Latin Sensation, Antonio Garza, takes on Aiden Solo. Spiral takes on Mr. O'Hagan. That match in and of itself is going to be a Kodak moment. I'm going to call that the Don't Blink match of the night. The new sensation, Steven Styles, takes on Out of Control Jake Cole. The television champion, Showtime.
I think we're safe. I'm not sure. I think we're safe.
Out of Control Jake Cole.
I thought you were going to call him Steven Tyler.
Beetlejuice.
Okay. And the GCW television champion will be in action. Showtime, Shane Fox, taking on Xander Stone. A lot of these matches have possible implications and ramifications as life heads toward May 25th in Pell City, Alabama, the Pell City Civic Center for Global Warfare. And one of the matches also is going to be your main event, and this could have a definite bearing on what happens and how bodies are going to react. And are they going to have enough time to heal before Global Warfare? As the GCW heavyweight champion, Mad Dog Dan Sawyer, and the S.R.O. Keith Smith take on the combination of the D.O.C. from Aces and Eights, former WWE superstar Luke Gallows, and the leader of the Underground, Micah Taylor. Don't miss it this Friday night in Tarrant, Alabama, Global Championship Wrestling.
And actually,
Under Control Gate Cole.
Actually, May 22nd, we will have all of the Underground soldiers on from the top to bottom. We're actually trying to get in touch with Steven Styles about coming on as well. I know he's just been added, and whenever I got in touch with the Underground, he was not a part of their faction, their family, their commitment, whatever they want to call themselves. But we actually have him back on, Mad Dog Dan Sawyer.
Yeah, man, you asked me a question. You'll have to get Styles away from Honey Boo Boo's mom. I think he's actually been dating her. He's been cutting in on Sugar Bear's time. You know, that's Honey Boo Boo's favorite wrestler. I swear to God, that's a shoot. You know, and I wonder, like, why they love him so. I mean, you know, what if we find out that Honey Boo Boo is the illegitimate child of Steve Styles?
And he is a fan of Honey Boo Boo, too.
Coming up next on TMZ.
Boom, boom.
Coming up next on Maury, more like.
You are conceivably, not possibly, definitely the father.
You know, it's a big weekend, Tarrant, May 10th. You know, we got Gallows, D.O.C., Aces and Eights. You know, I used to ride a little bit with the Outlaws, the real biker gang, not some made-up one trying to rip off Sons of Anarchy. And, you know, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. You know, me and the freaking Deacon have crossed paths before, and Luke Gallows and I have crossed paths before. One thing that I want to tell you guys is, considering your show is nationwide, worldwide, this Saturday night in Monroe, Louisiana, I'm a part of the Southern Wrestling Superstars card featuring Matt Hardy, Al Snow, Robbie E. from TNA. Goodness gracious, Ruby Sky taking on Tracy Taylor, Cassidy Riley, Chase Stevens. Pretty, really big production being taken care of, and the group that films the Duck Dynasty is the film crew that's actually filming this for DVD and TV. So that's there in Monroe, Louisiana this Saturday night, and Mad Dog will be on that show. Luke Hawks, and there's probably someone else I'm forgetting, and I just apologize. Oh yeah, Micah Taylor's on there. That's what it was. Micah Taylor's on there. I was forgetting him, so former GCW champion. But, you know, come check it out Friday night, May the 10th, Tarrant High School. Come watch this policeman. You know, whether you like cops or don't like cops, This guy has been working hard to try. He just wants to hang in there. He's living a dream. But I told him, I was like, you're going to have to be like on the streets, dudes, if we can't have the gun, the taser, or the mace, or the pepper spray, whatever they carry now. Tactical spray, we'll say. That way we cover it all. But, he's going to just have to try to use his size because he's 6'4" and 280 pounds. And he's just going to have to do the best he can. And he don't want to get on the mat with Micah. And he doesn't want to stand up and fight Gallows or receive the big boot. So just keep those hands up and, you can get to the corner and make the tag. I've wrestled both these guys, and they're both hell of athletes, but I'm coming in pretty confident, and I hope that Officer Smith's ready. And if he's not, I'm sure you'll be the first one to tell me, I told you so.
No,
hey, that's why we're good like that, because we're always honest with each other. The honest people in the business.
And I felt bad because some people do give bad advice, and I'm known for one to be like, as you all know, and as all the fans know. And Mad Dog made a good point. A lot of these guys, a lot of these young guys, so many people give them advice. He's like, if you don't train them, shut the fuck up. Don't be a dick. And I was like, oh my God, he's talking to me. No. I mean, even if you were, because you are right. Sometimes, we all have that tendency to speak up when we shouldn't. And some of us,
it pisses me off when guys come out there when I'm running a training session before a show or show up on Sunday and they forgot the frickin' basics and they're trying to give pointers and it don't make sense, And I'm like, dude, come on, Like, there's a certain wrestler that always gives a deep arm drag, like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and you grab some green guy that has been doing arm drags for 2 weeks and do that to him, you're probably going to rattle his brain. They could care less if the guy comes back. He's under contract to me to work out his 30 weeks of training. It's not going to hurt them any if they run the guy off, but it does me.
Yeah, I think the term... Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I think the term you're looking for on the deep arm drag is what happened with the California hippie Mike Boyette one week on Universal Wrestling Federation Wrestling. He came in, Boyette was coming in for an arm drag, and the guy caught him a little bit too deep, and Boyette came down square on his neck. Didn't move.
Yeah, it can be very dangerous. And, one of the female trainees got her arm pinched the other day because the guys were cinching up so tight. But, that's the thing. Tasha was trained by a guy. There was a lot of good female trainers. Lillian, not Lillian that you're thinking of, but the Fabulous Moolah. She trained Sherry Martel, and she was talking about how tough it was and how many squats they did and how many hard buckles they took to just warm up and how many times they did the international 20-year spot and all that kind of stuff. And, it's not easy for a man to be in the business, but it sure as hell ain't easy for a woman because of the muscle structure and all that kind of stuff. So I respect women wrestlers that have worked hard to get where they are, such as Tasha, Pandora, Tracy. There's more. There's tons of them out there, but girls that are just trying to be spokesmodels that take 2 bumps a match, I have no anything for your ass. So, if you're going to come to Mad Dog's House of Pain or if you're going to train with Tasha, you're going to actually know what's up and, we're going to teach you it's not so easy. And, you gotta work hard, and it's a man's business. But, ask Tasha Simone, she's tougher than a lot of the guys that I've worked with in my career, as far as not just in the promotion, but worked with across the ring. So, any woman that thought she had a broke foot the night before and actually got in the ring, I don't wear a hat, but I tip my do-rag to you, ma'am. That's
true.
Yeah,
not even the night before, like 3 hours before, 4 hours before.
Yeah. Either way, it was crazy.
That's what we do, Mad Dog.
Yeah, and I appreciate you hanging in here tonight. I know that normally you have to scoot because it's during gym time, but you're tough.
Actually, Due to my new training schedule, Wednesdays are my nights off. Thank God.
Oh, good. We get to keep you on there.
Yeah, buddy.
But Dan, how can everyone get in touch with you? Whether it be to actually train, whether it be to book you, or whether it be to get booked at GCW, sir.
All right, Mad Dog Dan Sawyer, Mad Dog one word Dan Sawyer on Facebook, GCWPro.com, or you can shoot me an email at GCWmedia@yahoo.com. And all the folks over there in the PR department will make sure that I get my messages from Facebook, and we really appreciate that lady over there, Miss Mila. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. And, it's just weird that some of the local promoters that try to start up shows and work with other guys that have worked other places send you messages going, could you please come in and help me? Certain MJs have been taking all my money, and I'm ready to do something. I'm serious. And, the Facebook is not controlled by me at all times because of where I live in a poor internet signal. But, the nice lady, Milas, told him, said, hey, we'll make sure you get him the message, and then the fool keeps just hammering me out there. So, listen, when someone tells you that it's not directly me, first off, you need to learn to train. By God, you need to get in the ring and be trained right, and just because you've had 2 matches, that don't mean you want to get grandma's money and take out the college fund or take out a loan to try to run a show, because you're going to have these corny gypsy bastards that are going to take your money, and they don't care, and they're going to make theirs, and you're never going to run another show, and you're going to run on the night for a promotion's been running for 10 years and can book anybody we want. So, if you want to have a shot here, how long did it, we'd done business in the past, but it took a while to get you back in there, but when we got together again, Wicked Nemesis and Don Lucky Charms, it was fantastic. So, you just gotta you gotta be nice to everybody until they force you to not be, because the same people you see going up, you're gonna see coming back down, and vice versa. And, support independent wrestling. That's what I say to you tonight. That's the inspirational moment. And, support, Internet Wrestling Talk Radio. But to be determined. Beyond Ringside and GCW Radio. Hey guys, thank you so much for the time. Looking forward to seeing you guys Friday, May the 10th in Tarrant, Alabama at the Tarrant High School, 7:30 Central.
Real quick before we let you go, Mad Dog, if anybody wants to get the tickets in case they get sold out, because there's only so much you can put in a high school gym, how can they get the pre-sale tickets, sir? I'm sorry, before we let you go.
Just be there at 7. I think they've stopped the pre-sales tomorrow. So if they'll be there at 7 o'clock, they're going to get in. Their gym is huge. It holds 2,200 people. So, that's bigger than the Pearl City Civic Center. So come on down, because they were setting up stuff for commencement. They've got a stage set up that they didn't have last time. So it's really nice, and a lot of people have got on board and put faith back in wrestling because they saw it was successful. And they appreciate what's going on, but it's not a thief in the night type deal where we come in and take all their money and they don't get anything. They were successful. That's why we're back. After being there in March, you usually don't do a school twice in 1 year, but when the superintendent of education sees something positive, you get to go back, and I am a man of my word, so I'll just try to keep going. So. And I like to have men of integrity in my locker room, and women. Get out there and do what we do best, and that's do wrestling and respect each other and respect the people that come out and spend their hard-earned money.
Dan, we appreciate it so much, sir, and good luck Friday night and also Saturday night. And we look forward to the 25th Global Warfare. Thank you so much, Dan.
Thank you.
Take care, brother.
Tasha, Simone, how can everyone get in touch with you, whether it be for bookings, whether it be just to socialize with you, ma'am?
They can find me on Twitter at Tasha F. Simone for bookings. They can contact me, Tasha Simone, NWA at gmail.com. I am on the web, TashaSimone.com. And I do have a Facebook, and my wonderful, lovely friend, Mad Dog Matt Denton, can tell you what that address is because I don't have a clue.
We're going to do this every week, aren't we?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Facebook.com/Tasha.Simone1.
You are awesome, Matt. I love you so much. You are so awesome. But I do have to say this, next week on the 17th, Bubba Perry, who was voted Nashville Samaritan of the Year, is in his 10th year of Big Bubba's Bash. This year he also has a dash. He does a celebrity softball game. This man is actually going to put a softball bat in my hand, even though I've told him I don't hit balls, I hit people. So anybody who's in the Nashville area, make it out to Drakes Creek Park in Hendersonville, 6 o'clock, batting practice starts. Tasha Simone will have a ball bat in her hand, and it will be legal.
I'm sure we all know somebody who deserves to have their balls bashed in by a baseball bat.
Matt Denton, how can everyone get in touch with you, sir, and what do you have upcoming on your podcast?
Actually, I'm not sure because I didn't show up on Sunday night due to internet problems. So, yeah, that's a bit strange for me. You can follow me on Twitter at Words from Prism, and also I think it's the 28th of May. Let me check. Maybe the 25th. 25th, 26th. I'm going to try and be at the London Comic... I guess it's a Comic-Con. I don't know. Because RVD's got to be there, and I'm going to try and shoehorn my way into signing some autographs or something, because I'm turning into him. Oh my god. Please, shoot me now. Please. Somebody. Please. Anyone.
Eddie.
Yes.
You have something upcoming.
Yes.
LXW. If you will, sir, tell people a little bit about this before we let you go.
Well, tell you what, Global Championship Wrestling is going to be running Friday night, May the 10th in Tarrant City, Alabama. I will be actually on Saturday night, May 11th, working with LXW, the League of Extraordinary Wrestlers. Their premier outing, The Renaissance Begins, is going to be at the J. Craig Smith Community Center in Sylacauga, Alabama. Bell time is going to be 7 o'clock p.m. Tickets are $10 each at the door. They're going to have 7 matches on the card, a double main event, and a lot more. And this is going to be a DVD taping by Blue Fedora Productions, and it's going to be released through Smart Mark Video. The Angel of Death, John Rare, is going to be there. Jason Jr., Phil Payne, the White Russian, Wes Crow, Coon Dog and Red Solo Cup take on Acid and Damien. The Frogs Pit is going to take place Saturday night in Sylacauga. They're going to have a very special guest in the Frogs Pit. 2 of your favorite people in the whole wide world, don't say it. The Demon Master will be taking on Cowboy Dusty McWilliams. One half of Southern Skies, Dump Sanders, will be having an open challenge match, an intergender lucha libre match. Josh Crow, Caden Sade, Octavia, Shane Smalls, J Impact, Matt Madison, James Ferrari, and more, including Sicko the Clown is going to be there, and Sylacauga's own Chaos. Don't say it, Wick. Keep your eyes open. Go over to Facebook. Check out a League of Extraordinary Wrestlers. It is going to be this Saturday night in Sylacauga. Looking forward to it. Thank you to Kevin Brandon and company for the opportunity. I worked with them on IWA Deep South a few weeks ago. Looking forward to this show. It's going to be a lot of fun. And trust me, it's going to be very untraditional as far as pro wrestling goes, and that is going to be LXW. This Sunday on Beyond Ringside, 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific start time. We've got a double shot of Canada this Sunday. Saliza Sparks scheduled to come on at 7 o'clock Eastern, and Giant Tiger scheduled to come on at 8 p.m. Eastern time. From that vantage point, the podcast from this past Sunday is up and online. Also a YouTube video version that you can find through Beyond Ringside's YouTube page, as well as the Wicked Nemesis' YouTube page, as well as my personal YouTube page. Damn thing's out there more than I am. And that's a scary thought. Be sure to catch up. Facebook.com/FastEddieLane, at FastEddieLane on Twitter, BeyondRingside.com, and FastEddieLane.com. Wick?
Is it just me, or does Sylacauga sound like a Far Eastern strain of polio?
Well, hold on.
Yes?
I'm standing here right now in my living room, my arms crossed, staring at your Beyond Ringside little icon for Skype. If it had a virtual face, I'd punch it in it. If you ever come on my show again and talk about some of those stupid fucks that were just on that card that you called out, I'm gonna disown you. I'm gonna disown you. You just talked about an outlaw show, not an outlaw show on my show.
It's a startup show, not an outlaw. It's not. Well, it's an outlaw until they run a second one.
I know some of the people on that. That's an outlaw show. Eddie, you and I are gonna have words. You better pray to God that when I see you at Global Warfare, that I'm in a better mood than I am right now.
Hang on a second.
Oh my God.
Folks in the chat room, folks listening and folks in chat, hang tight for a second. Continue.
Eddie, man. Eddie does not. Eddie,
Eddie just pulled a punk card now.
A punk card?
Jesus, Eddie. What have you done?
Hold on.
What have you done?
What have I done? I don't know, Obi-Wan. Tell me.
What have you done? You killed younglings.
I've killed ducklings.
Whenever we go off air, I'm going to stab Eddie.
I know you are.
Really quick, everyone. At Wicked Nemesis on Twitter, Wicked Nemesis Facebook fan page. There's also an Unlucky Charms Facebook fan page, To Be Determined Show Facebook fan page, a Beyond Ringside Facebook fan page, which has been getting a lot of people on there. I've been seeing some weird posts on there, Eddie. Watch out.
I'm watching.
Canada, Australia, everybody. And feel free, as Eddie said, as long as you're not trying to sell sneakers, by all means, put a link up there.
Yes.
We also know that Beyond Ringside and To Be Determined Show are reaching a big audience. We want to thank everyone that is sharing, liking, and commenting on the podcast as well as the YouTube pages. And let's hope the Ustream is still going right now.
It is.
I'm having some problems with Ustream. Yay, Ustream. I know Damon Christopher right now is like, yes, I finally got to listen to the show. Hello, Damon. But this Friday night, Tarrant High School, the Unlucky Charms against High Definition. Everybody knows Jeremy Foster and Cody O'Connor, hell of a tag team against, come on guys, the GCW Tag Team Champions, the Unlucky Charms. This is going to be a wrestling event. Go out, support local independent wrestling. Yes, even the shows that Eddie's on.
We'll talk off there. And see if you stab me after I tell you what I'm about to tell you, okay?
Ladies and gentlemen, we do appreciate it. Lance Hoyt, the Washington Bullets, and Mad Dog Dan Sawyer.
Daryl B calls you a mercenary
tonight, thank you. Eddie, some shout-outs from the chat room, sir?
Let me see. Hold on. Let me spin around real quick. We've had people in and out of the chat room all the way through the night. Allie Doll has been there from start to finish. Always great to see you. Daryl B has been in and out from start to finish. Kay Pruitt got there late. Ninja Britches, Mila, Mad Madge, and a whole bunch of Anons. Guess what? If you're in the chat room, it doesn't cost a damn thing to create a screen name. Make a screen name. It takes 30 seconds, if not that long, and you're used to going that short a period of time on a Saturday night, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, really quick before we let you go, Tasha, last words.
The last words of the night are, if you're going to tell somebody to man up, make sure that you have a sense so that you can man up too.
Matt Denton.
Every time I see a Catholic take a big juicy shit in the park, I think of the Smarks Rage.
Damn! Did we all just go oxymoron tonight or what?
Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate it. Oh, you had no idea. Buy the ticket, take the ride. The To Be Determined show. Thank you.